Yes, hi there. Good evening. So I'm just here to discuss about the questions what have been asked in Cognizant Gurugram. Like it was walk and drive and on 22 November, and that was related to Lightning Web Component. Actually, there was a few more specific rules as well, like Salesforce Agent Force and Salesforce Architect, and few more domain as well. So it was are related to Lightning Web Component. So what are the questions they have been asked, like round one and round two? Round one was basically some basic questions, and round two there they have asked questions related to your resumes and your projects and some scenario, like you have to write the code on the papers, right? So the first question was the type of flows in Salesforce. So basically, when you create flow in Salesforce, then actually you will get the options like a screen flow, record trigger flow, auto launch flow, and so they basically ask what are all the types of flow in available in Salesforce, right? So it was the first question, and second one was like when you create a flow, right? So record trigger flow, so basically you will get two options: first fields update and the related record, something like that. So there were two options, right? So what are their uses, like first field update and the after field update, you can say that. So first field update basically used for the triggering record, like you when you want to update, when you want to work on that specific record, right? So you can use that. And the second one is like related, like you when you want to work on the related records and sending email. So basically then we will select the second one, right? And you can go and explore more about these things. Actually this is the best question. Actually you can see that the money interviewer basically ask these questions, right? So this one is important one. And the third one was creative flow. When account is created, associated contact also should be created. Which type flow is best possible for this? So this was the third question. So there actually we have to create one account, and with that account details we have to create a contact associated to that account. Basically in that account a contact should be related to that account. When you open that account you should be able to see that contact as well. And they also ask which type flow is possible for this well, like you can also do this thing for the screen flow as well. So this one was the third one. So and the fourth was the what are a LWC component and components bundle. Basically what are a components bundle, LWC component bundle, explain about them, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript and the XML file. So basically they ask that what are the use of HTML, what are the use of JS, and what are the use of CSS and XML is. You can say they say like HTML is used for the basic structure, and CSS used for the designing, and JavaScript used for the logic things, and the XML file basically used for the exposing the component, like where we have to expose our component, like record page and home page, and also we have to make that is exposed to, right? So in all those things have been we have to set into the XML file, right? So this was related to that, like lightning component bundles and their uses. So this was the fourth one. And the fifth one, create a hello world LWC component and expose it to record page. So basically for this we have to basically they ask that how you can create a LWC component. Just you have to say the, like virtually you have to say that what the process you will follow, like you will open the VS Code, Control Shift plus G, and you have to create a lightning web component. And first of the first of all we have to expose that component, like the record page or home page is exposed to, and add the target as well, like lightning record page. And then in JS you can create a variable like the welcome variable or a message variable, and assign the value like hello world there, and just bind that variable in the HTML. Okay, so once the component will be deployed, then you can see the value into that component on the UI, like record page, right? So it was the fifth one, where we have to create a basic LWC component for the hello world. And the sixth one was create a LWC component, so 10 accounts on a data table. So basically this was the second round questions. So basically this we have to write on a pen and paper. So, and they also said that they skip the apex part for this one. You have to just write the JS logic and the HTML part, like the data table. So for this, actually we have to create the columns to showing data table, and also we have to get the details from the backend, and what will be basically what the approach you will follow for this one. So they ask like, and they have given a pen and paper to write this thing. Okay. And the seventh one was, how many trailhead points do you have? So this question was from your resume. So the trailhead points, and eighth, explain your project which is related to Experience Cloud, which I have mentioned on resume end-to-end user journey. So basically this was related to the resume question again, like the project you have mentioned. Suppose you have mentioned 3 project on your resume. So basically they can ask any one of them, explain them. So for that you have to explain all about that project, like what a user journey, if user coming and what they actually doing there, and everything you have built about to that project. So just actually they want to know what you have built, what was the user journey, what like end-to-end scenario they just want to know. Okay. The decorators in LWC, and explain about them. Like there are decorators 3 types in LWC, like wire, track, and the API decorator. So API basically used for the exposing the property for the communication between parent and child, and also track is make the reactivity, and wire is basically used for the get data from the backend, like FX. Using FX, we need to, when we need to get data from the Salesforce, then we can use wire for that as well. So it was all related to decorators in LWC. And all about communication in LWC. Communication basically parent to child and unrelated components. So there are 3 types of communication in LWC, we can say that. So parent to child, we use API at the rate API for this communication, and child to parent, where for that we actually use custom events, and the third one is unrelated component. So, and sibling components, for that actually we use PubSub and Lightning messaging service. So there are 3 types of communications in LWC, we can say that. And also batch apex, their uses and methods. So this one this was related to apex, and what are the batch apex and their use, and what are 3 types of the method which you get in the batch apex, right? So you have to explain all about them. And also they ask about approval process. Can you create one? Like the approval process is basically similar to flow, but as of we are not using currently. But they say that, like suppose you have one project, they are actually using approval process. So you should know about that, like how you can migrate that approval process to into Apex. So they just ask like just create a one approval process. Okay. And the next one is, should we use DML and show call inside loops? Yes or no? Just basic question was related to best practice. And error handling in LWC UI, like they basically want to ask about the how you will debug in LWC, how you will get the errors in of your, how you will basically catch the error in UI labels in LWC. So it was related to that. And also they ask about all about the misc DML exceptions, so like the setup object, like that. So they ask related to that as well, and the DML exception and custom DML exceptions as well. So there are few questions related to that. And the next one was Apex best practices, and they ask like for the trigger one, how many trigger you should write on a simple single object. They ask this thing as well related to that, and the Apex best practice was that as well. So these were these questions were being asked, like round 1 and round 2. Yeah, if you are not subscribed, then subscribe the channels to get few more video related to that. And also we provide few like related to agent force and flows, like concept as well. Yeah, thanks for the watching.